Hey, 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 welcome to another Valley Forged. Breaking, just out. I literally just got an email about this. Those of you following AtomStack have probably just got it as well. AtomStack Hurricane, professional desktop 55 watt CO2 laser cutter. Now, this isn't out yet. It looks to be shipping in about a month, but they're asking for a pre-order deposit to get your $1,000 discount. So let's get right off into the price. It looks to be retail at $3,700, but with a $1,000 discount. We'll take a look in a second, but I think that ends up being like $2,600, $2,700, which is very competitive price for this type of laser. It's a bit more expensive than the Monport Onyx, but it should be a much more robust machine that you're not going to have to do a lot to. So we'll see. Will the quality be much better? AtomStack typically does pretty good quality. Now there's the OMTech Polar or OMTech Polar and the GWI Cloud or GWiki Cloud that are around the same price as this, but they have some just basic flaws in my opinion. And I am interested to see what controller they're using for this, to see if you can plug in a Ruida controller to it. And because I think for one of these machines, just like I did to my machine, is invaluable. And yeah, let's go down and just check it out, and I'll give my thoughts on it. I do own one of these types of machines, and I have done quite a bit of research on them. So this looks to be the same power, the same basic machine as the other desktops. But then there's a lot of differences I can already see. So let's take a look. So some free accessories, yada, 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 free software, pay the balance and get it free. Lightburn license. That's interesting. I'd like to check that out because you're going to need to get Lightburn, or you're going to want to get Lightburn. So that might be useful. Of course, it has a honeycomb panel. Shipping mid-October. Okay. So, and then you'll make a deposit now, and then your final payment will probably be just before it ships. And the pre-sale price looks to be $27.99 with $1,000 off. What you can create, I can see the head's a little bit different. Now, many of you know that with a diode laser, you can't do clear acrylic or even any sort of transparent acrylic. And all acrylics, it just does better. And that's really a huge reason for moving to a CO2. But this is it's an all-in-one machine. So it basically, you plug it in and it goes for the most part. And I have done pretty well with creating these style lamps. I'm actually going to make some videos on it. But with a diode laser, that's just not something you can do. And for doing backlit signs and things like that, it becomes very useful. So you're going to see it cuts basically the same material. It's really, I think it's a 50 watt CO2 laser, 55 watt max power. It's the same as the other ones. But don't quote me on that. But at the size of the machine, it looks to be the same. I don't see how you can fit the bigger CO tube in there. So 600 millimeters per second. That's pretty fast. 36 millimeters per minute. 36,000. We'll see how fast it can actually go. That is precise. One of the weird things on these machines I have seen at a certain speed, sometimes the Z-axis will move a little bit. That's been interesting. So we'll see. And it's saying 0.01 carving precision. What exactly that means, we'll see about that as well. I know the spot size is not going to be that good, so we'll see about that. I don't know what this carving precision actually means. Now, it has a large work area 500 by 300 to me is really good. The X-Tool S1 and those types of lasers have that basic size, and I like it. It's easier to fit your normal pieces of wood in. Your 19 by 12s generally fit on there okay. Which is, I get my wood from Craft Closet, so I don't want to have to cut it every time when I get it. And on some other lasers, that's been an issue. Now, it does show that you can have this little extension thing, look at this auto pass through. I have never used one of those because it always seems like a pain in the butt. And not only that, you're going to need more space for your laser. So just look at this table that they've got. So are you going to have the room to use something like that? So are you going to want to count on the 500 by 300 for pretty much everything you do? For some of you, the extended range of 800 by 500, how hard is it going to be to set up? How easy is it going to work? What size woods can you use with it? I wouldn't buy the machine sight unseen without knowing exactly how that works. I'd buy the machine, but I wouldn't count on using this part. Simplicity, ease of use, yes. They're kind of all Glowforge copies in a way. I think this one might end up being closer. That's the autofocus. It looks like it's got the auto air. It does have a red light indicator, so you know exactly where that beam is hitting, which is also super nice. I don't believe the other ones have that. In fact, they don't. Camera, which all of them pretty much have. This is a pretty cool design. I like that, and it's given me some ideas that I hadn't thought of before. It's very simple ideas. I just didn't think of them. So yeah, that's pretty cool. But you should be able to do pretty close to that with any of the lasers. Batch engraving, if you've watched Clack Shack or Vittori, this has never really worked that well in the X tools. You can do it, but it doesn't center things very well. So I wouldn't count on this until you actually see it done from start to finish, just like this. Just my personal opinion. Power off resume function. You see, they're not showing that in Lightburn. So you're going to maybe have that resume function. It probably won't work in Lightburn. But if you have it plugged into a controller, which you probably will be able to do with this, I might get a hold of one someday and be able to show if that works or not. But just understand that without further information, I would say this doesn't work in Lightburn. Reliable, the auto fire extinguisher. This part freaked me out a little bit. My very first thought was this is a terrible idea, but I'd rather just have a fire blanket handy. But I do like the fact that it's not going to ruin your entire machine, like a fire suppression system or something. It's just going to catch the fire locally, and for some people that might be super important. What I'm a little... I don't know. What is this going to do with the laser head itself, right? It's already so complicated and you want as little things going on right there at the laser head as possible to keep it light, to keep it from, something messing up. And now you're going to add this water. I don't know. I need to see further things, but my first thought is I wouldn't even want that. I may take it out. Or if you could turn it off, maybe turn it off. I don't know if that's possible. So it has status indicators, which was also an issue on all of these other desktops, is that if it had an error, you couldn't tell what the problem was. It would just be red, and you'd be like, okay, well, there's a problem. Typically, it was the drawer for the tray for all of your wooden stuff was not pushed all the way in. That was your typical problem, but this one should be able to tell you what's going on. Smoke exhaust system, of course. I always recommend that you put in a duct fan. It's just going to work way better, but we'll see how this one works. I've never seen a factory fan that really did it as well as I would like to see. Safety features pretty much standard here. it looks like a pretty cool laser, especially because the desktop CO2s, this is an area where things could be vastly improved. And the Xtool S1, I guess, is probably the best one out. But it's primarily, it wants to use XCS. It will use Lightburn, but it primarily likes to use XCS, which I want a machine that is completely Lightburn compatible. That's it. That's how I want it. So, this one is that way. And so I would, except for the, restart function, probably. I would be happy with this as long as it is in all other ways great. And if you can get it at the $2,700 price tag, it's probably going to be really good. Will it be worth it at $3,700? If you could possibly, and that's even true no matter how good this is. If you can, and I just did a video on this, should you buy a desktop CO2 or a full-size CO2 laser? I really feel like a full-size laser is just better in almost every way, if you can do it. If you've got a garage, you've got the space, you've got the ventilation, it's not going to fit through a regular doorway, right? So you're going to want to have it to be a garage type thing, or specifically made for those types of things, concrete floor, etc. And so many people can't do a full-size machine, but if you can, I would say it's probably a better idea. But if you want to be able to run your business from your house and you want to use acrylic, let's keep a look at this machine. It may end up being the best option. I don't know. Take a look at all of them. I didn't really like the Giwi Cloud. I didn't really like the Polar, although with some upgrades, it's pretty good. That's why I had chose to go with Onyx, it being cheaper and easier to modify for me. But maybe a little cheap, you have to be able to want to do modifications and want to deal with the problems that you're going to have. Whereas with this, hopefully you're not going to have so many issues when you pay just a little bit more. AtomStack has been really good in this past year as far as getting better and better. They're still not, of course, the best at customer service, but they're not the worst. They're not even close to the worst. And they're one of the better ones, I would say, because it's really a problem in the laser industry. But their lasers have gotten a lot better. I recommend them a lot more, maybe even number 2 to Rolly Lasermatic. So it's, this could be really, really good. And so I'm going to keep my eye on it. Smoke purifier, I would like to actually see somebody use that and see how it works. It's probably going to reduce the smoke and the smoke smell. I think under $5,000, it's very difficult to completely get rid of it at a reasonable expense. Like I built one, worked great. In fact, I have a video on it. But I have to replace the filter every month at it starts adding up real quick. So you can get some slats, you can get a riser base probably for, doing the conveyor and probably for doing tumblers and things like that, which I don't see here yet. I don't think they have the rotary tool available as of here. So think about that too. I'm guessing they're going to have a rotary, but I don't see anything. It's a pretty slim machine. So I'll leave a link for this. You can go check it out below. It is my affiliate link, but I doubt that's going to do much for me, but it may. But at least you'll be able to check it out and get a deposit down if this is something you are interested in. And check it out and keep me posted, because I probably won't have one of these by the time maybe you would if you order it now. So I am really looking for feedback from everybody if they get it or anything else you learn. As far as I know, this will probably be one of not the first video reviewing it, since I just got the info. So anyway, I will see you all in the next one. Love y'all.